So, you're interested in North Carolina. Well, you've come to the right place because today we're going to talk about 10 reasons why people are choosing North Carolina to call their home. Stick around. Hello family, my name is Sir Ashley and I'm a realtor and investor right here in North and South Carolina. And if you're interested in money, real estate, or learning what it's like to live, work, play, eat in North or South Carolina, this is the channel for you. But make sure you hit that subscribe button and tap on that bell notification so you can be alerted every time we drop a new video. I have so many people reaching out and asking me what it's like to live here in North Carolina and what they can expect. And I appreciate all of you. So if you have any questions about what it's like living here, make sure you leave a comment to this video or reach out to me, whether it be a phone call, a text, or an email. All right, let's get into it. U-Haul, the moving company, lists North Carolina as the third highest state for population growth right here in our nation. And most of the growth is coming from what we know as the Piedmont Crescent, the area spanning from Raleigh, Durham, Greensboro to Charlotte. And according to the latest 2020 census, population in North Carolina grew 9.5%. And now the state has a population of right around 10.5 million people. Wake County is now the most populous county, surpassing where Charlotte is in Mecklenburg County. Now, I just mentioned that North Carolina is the third fastest growing state, according to U-Haul. Well, Texas and Florida is also on that list. And the fact that they're on the list doesn't really surprise me because neither one of those states have state income tax. And that has its obvious benefits and why people would choose to move there. But why are they coming to North Carolina when we do have a state income tax? So we're going to look into those reasons right now. Now, before we jump into it, before anybody calls me out or goes off on me, this is my list for why I believe people are moving to the state. If your reason for coming to the state is something different, or if you have other reasons why you believe people will be coming to North Carolina, please leave it in the comment section. I am happy to hear from you. The first reason why people come to North Carolina is because of education. Now, before you roll your eyes, yes, I know the state as a whole is ranked in the lower half of all the states in terms of public school systems. But the areas of the state with good public schools have very, very good public schools. I'm talking about Chapel Hill, Carrboro, which is part of the Triangle area. You have Union County and Mooresville, which is part of the greater Charlotte area. And then Asheville has very good school districts as well. And I can't forget about Wake County. Now in Wake County, where Raleigh's located, the average SAT scores exceed state and national averages. Now, North Carolina doesn't only have great public schools. They also have overperforming charter schools and magnet schools, as well as private schools that are widely available to a lot of the population right here in North Carolina. Now, I can't talk about schools without mentioning the universities and colleges right here in North Carolina. You have Duke, you have Shaw, you have UNC, you have North Carolina Central University, you have NC State, Wake Forest, Johnson C. Smith, Elon. The list goes on and on and on. And North Carolina has some of the best schools in the country. And once you look at the cost for in-state tuition to go to a North Carolina school, it's a no-brainer. In fact, I initially came to North Carolina for the education. My parents had come to North Carolina to retire. And when I started to do some research, I saw how inexpensive, comparatively speaking, law school was for in-state students. So I quickly got residence in the state and applied for law school. I literally saved over $100,000 by going to an excellent law school right here in the state of North Carolina. And thousands of people choose to move to North Carolina to take advantage of that as well. The next reason so many people are moving to North Carolina is because of the weather. North Carolina has a mild temperature and you do experience all four seasons. Actually, sometimes you experience just about all of them in the same day. And as I think about it, just last week, I experienced 3 of the seasons by 2 p.m. In the morning, it was cold, about 60 degrees. Don't judge me. I think 60 degrees is cold now. So it was a chilly 60 degrees that morning, and it was cloudy. So I went and put on a sweatshirt and met a couple clients. And then 11 a.m. came around, and it was like 70 degrees. But by 2 p.m., I realized I had made a huge mistake. It was in the upper 80s, and it felt like summer. And I was dying inside that sweatshirt. and I couldn't take it off because I had a tank top underneath. And while yes, I wore a sweatshirt that was considered professional, I didn't think a tank top would be professional. So I had to keep the sweatshirt on. Also, when you talk about the weather, the majority of the state does not experience extreme weather, such as hurricanes and tornadoes. Now, if you're over by the coast, that's a different story. You will have to worry about hurricanes and tropical storms. Now, the third reason why people move to North Carolina sort of ties into the weather, and it is the plethora of outdoor activities the state has to offer. North Carolina has it all, from boating, which you can enjoy on the beaches, as I mentioned, out by the coast, or one of our about 15 lakes we have here in the state, to going to the mountains on the western part of the state and relaxing in the mountains or going skiing at one of the ski resorts that we have. North Carolina also has over 15 national parks, and in the Charlotte area, there's the National Whitewater Center. And at the Whitewater Center, you have rafting, zip lining, rock climbing, yoga, kayaking, mountain biking, ropes courses, ice skating. You can do it all. And on top of that, once you get tired of all those activities, they have a huge selection of beer which you can enjoy. Yes, North Carolina attracts a lot of people because of their beer and breweries as well. Moving on, people also come to North Carolina for the jobs. Jobs in North Carolina are plentiful. We have tons of service industry jobs, and at the beginning of the pandemic, those jobs took a huge hit, but they are making their way back. Also, North Carolina is the retail banking capital of the country. Bank of America, Truist, and Wells Fargo are some of the largest state employers. Energy is a huge sector of employment right here in North Carolina, with Duke Energy leading the way. Healthcare and the medical industry is one of the largest employers in the state, especially in the Charlotte area. You have Atrium Health, you have Novant Health, and those are the major employers in that field. In fact, Atrium Health was just listed in Forbes as the best in-state employers for 2021. And then there's the universities. All the universities throughout the state are major employers right here in North Carolina. A few other huge employers here in the state are some people that you might overlook. And those are grocery stores, such as Food Lion and Ingles. And while we're talking about grocery stores and food, the food and agricultural industries are also a huge part of the state's backbone. North Carolina has the second largest animal processing and manufacturing collection right here in the United States. Butterball, Tyson's, Campbell's are all three major food processors and employers right here in North Carolina. Before I move on, I have to talk about big tech being in North Carolina. I'm talking about Apple, Google, IBM, and Amazon, and thousands upon thousands of jobs that they bring to the state. Now look, I don't want anybody to think that I'm being insensitive, because I get at least, I would say, about 3 emails a month from people complaining about the jobs or the limited opportunities right here in North Carolina. But North Carolina does have a plethora of jobs to offer individuals. Yet I know there are tons of people who are unemployed or underemployed, and to you, I repeat, there are tons of opportunities right here in North Carolina. Let me tell you a quick story. My first lawyer job here in North Carolina, my manager had some bigoted views, but her thoughts and prejudices did not impact my growth in the company. You might wonder, how's that possible? So my advice to all of you out there is to network. Yes, talk to your coworkers, obviously, but develop your own relationships with your boss and your boss's boss. I can honestly say that I've been fortunate and given opportunities because of the relationships that I sought to establish. So please go out of your comfort zone and go out and network with other people. Because oftentimes we get discouraged and like to sit back and think and wonder when our opportunity is going to come. In reality, opportunities aren't going to just fall in your lap. You have to go take those opportunities and make them a reality. Now, I know you didn't come for a TED Talk about employment, but I want to give this advice to people because I do get this email or this message several times a month. Sorry for that aside. There are literally hundreds of people moving to North Carolina every single day because of the opportunities that are available right here in the state. Another reason a lot of people are moving to North Carolina is because of the property tax. While the property tax here in North Carolina is not, I repeat, is not the lowest in the country by far, actually North Carolina ranks about 20th in the country in regards to property tax. And according to a 2020 report from USA Today, North Carolina's effective property tax rate is 0.85%, and that's lower than the national average of 1.1%. The next reason people are coming to North Carolina is to retire. North Carolina is a huge retirement destination, and people are coming for the beaches and the mountains. And nowadays, more and more retirees are coming to North Carolina to be closer to their kids and grandkids. So they move to the suburbs of these big cities, such as Monroe, Indianland, Matthews, Cary, Mooresville, and Knightdale. North Carolina has a lot of 55 and older communities, and even if the communities aren't specifically 55 and older, they are designed with that crowd in mind. And the beauty of those 55 and older communities is that you will get some peace and quiet because there won't be a bunch of kids running around. Now, I say you get peace and quiet because kids aren't running around, but let me tell you something. Those 55 and over communities get very, very cliquish. Now, I have some good friends who are over 55 and they live in those communities, and let me tell you something. There is drama. If you thought high school was bad, wait until you get into one of these 55 and older communities where you have a bunch of people that have nothing but money and a lot of free time. That's a perfect recipe for drama. Now, earlier in the video, I told you to network. Now, our older generation is full of experience, knowledge, and insight. And more times than not, they are willing to share. So please take advantage of this natural resource we all have, but we tend to overlook, and that's our older generation. Now, I can't talk about people retiring to North Carolina without bringing up Hendersonville. Hendersonville ranks #1 on the list of North Carolina cities that offer the best quality of life for retirees. Hendersonville is a very small city about 25 miles south of Asheville in the Blue Ridge Mountains, and it is a haven for retirees with tons of stuff for them to do. That brings us to housing and the price of real estate. Both of those make North Carolina very attractive for those people wanting to relocate here. Yes, property prices have been exploding, and longtime residents in the state are shocked. They're truly shocked at the prices homes are demanding, but the average sales price right here in our state is still only around $267,000. In Raleigh, the average sales price is $445,000, and in Charlotte, the average sales price is $426,000. Yes, both of those areas' property prices have gone up at least 18% in the past year, but even with those increases, North Carolina and both of those regions, Raleigh and Charlotte, are still seen as affordable options for many people looking to move here. Low interest rates and lower than average property taxes make North Carolina an even more attractive place to relocate to. Now, I tried to make this list as interesting as I could, but if you have a different reason on why people are moving to North Carolina, please share that with me. And if you're serious about moving here or need help buying or selling a property right here in the Carolinas, please be sure to reach out. Give me a call, shoot me a text, send an email. And if you like this video, please leave a comment letting me know. And don't forget to hit that like button. I'm Sir Ashley. Talk soon.